I never want to be that 9 to 5 person that just lives my entire life working 9 to 5 and just be happy with a modest lifestyle. Being secure. A lot of people, that's all they want. They just want a secure lifestyle, own a house, and be able to retire, and that makes them happy, and I just believe that we should always be pushing, to achieve more, to become more, and sitting at a job, the same job for 30 years is not something I would ever choose to do. In the society, we are taught to go to college and get a job. That's what we're taught. If you become a doctor or a lawyer, you're successful, but most of the time you still have a boss, still have someone, telling you what to do, and you still have a schedule you have to stick to. So it's not much different than working at McDonald's. I mean, it's just you're making more money, but you're still in the same exact situation. And, working at McDonald's is not something I would choose to do, or same scenario, making more money. To me, you got to enjoy what you're doing, and, to have the lifestyle and the freedom to do what you want when you want, is the most incredible thing. A lot of people don't understand it. You got to work hard at whatever you do, whether you're working for someone else or working for yourself. And if you want to put that in, you're going to end up being successful. You can't be satisfied. But that's what keeps us going. When you become content, then life's over. And the mentality is what's going to make things happen. Is having that mentality to never give up, keep pushing forward, and trying to accomplish your goals, and hopefully you have more goals. Constantly trying to move on to bigger and better things and trying to improve ourselves in every area. You really have to believe what you're doing is working. It's very important to believe. You have to believe to achieve. If you're doing something, you're not 100% confident in what you're doing, you're going to fail. Someone who is doing something maybe not 100% correctly, but they truly believe in their mind that they're doing the best they could possibly do, and they believe what they're doing is the best possible scenario, I think they're going to have a lot more success than someone that is doing it 100% right, but aren't positive in what they're doing. The mind is the most powerful tool we have, and in order to be a winner, you have to lose. That's how you learn. One day I may is telling me better get out there and, start busting your ass, going forward and never stop. Don't miss a day. One day miss is the day you can't get back. Always look at the positive. The glass is always half full. If you think positive and you look at the positive, you're only going to continue to get better. And it's being positive in every area is the secret. It's the secret to life. If you're negative about anything, you're going to fail, no matter what it is. You're not happy. You want to be better. But that's what you want in every aspect of life. You want to better yourself in every way possible. It all works hand in hand. A lot of people realize when you help somebody else, you're helping yourself, and it feels good. And it just what comes around goes around. The most important thing in life is to not give a shit what other people think. That's the most important thing. And to have that kind of an attitude or mentality is rare. People are always concerned about what other people think. Always, no matter who they are. It really doesn't matter what other people think. It really doesn't matter. If you can have that kind of mentality, you get so much further and be so much happier in life. People don't like to think, they like to ask. They don't like to think, and they don't have enough confidence in their decisions that they make on their own. When they get advice from someone else, it gives them more confidence to believe that that's going to work. We should always be trying, to be better at every aspect in life. I mean, are you a good husband? Are you a good wife? Are you a good son? Are you a good, whatever it could be. There's a million things in life that we are. I think we should constantly be trying to be better in every area. Kind of like to just, relax, enjoy life. And that's kind of what I do. And being able to not stress and do what I want to do when I want to do it is just a great feeling.